And then from 1600 to 1865, then suddenly you're no longer property, but you're prevented from being able to acquire it. So they put barriers to make sure you don't own any properties. So it's not that you are property, but you are no longer able to acquire it. So you can't create wealth, essentially. And then around the 50s, 1950s, 60s, that is 60 years ago. 60 years ago, you're finally able to acquire wealth, acquire property. So I want us also to recognize and stop and think about this. In the span of 60 years, here we are at the government talking about intellectual property. That's why I say this whenever I speak in the US, in Brazil, in Tokyo, on global stages. Our relationship to ownership as people of African descent is embedded into our historical trauma that we lived. So owning things, starting with our intellectual property, is key. So I want to salute everybody that made this possible today, because I think there needs to be historical context as to why Black IP truly matters. And as I hear Dr. Juliette, Queen talk, and Dr. Pierre, what I'm hearing also is the potential gentrification of Black IP. When somebody goes and talks publicly about, hey, this new Jean, and never mentions her name, that is gentrification 101. And there's nothing worse than getting your ideas gentrified. I bet if I ask any professional in the room if a boss of yours or a manager has ever gentrified your ideas, Monsieur Galland just went, oh yeah, right? So we know it is a true thing. So imagine being melanated and navigating a world that is not always made for you. So I wanted to start there when it comes to property, because I think it's important to contextualize things. Now, that is why we decided to democratize funding. Because like I said, we truly believe that people that are disinvested, we are not, I don't like the term marginalized, I think disinvested. I think it was architected that way to a certain extent, to disinvest in our communities, need to leverage artificial intelligence and technology, and researchers and great minds and mentors that could become sponsors to attain any kind of wealth. And real estate has sailed, newsflash, interest rates are crazy. So our 40 acres and a mule for Black Canadians cannot reside in a strategic real estate play. It has to go through intellectual property acquisition. It has to be a concerted effort by finding the leaders and the pioneers in our community and not asking them to be mentors. Be sponsors. Mentors show you the door, sponsors walk you through it. And for our colleagues that are non-melanated or not, I think there's two types of people on this planet, Africans and displaced Africans. But that is my personal opinion. I think it's also your duty to not just be an ally. I hate that term. You have to be an accomplice. Allies post black squares during, lynchings, and they repost stuff 4 years ago, and then they disappear. They get their privilege right back. We need you 24/7 to be on the forefront of making sure that we get justice, because we associate the opposite of poverty as being wealth. How many of you believe that the opposite of poverty is wealth? Raise your hand. Nobody? Nobody believes that the opposite of poverty, right? What if I told you that, in my humble opinion, the opposite of poverty is actually justice? You give us justice, as Black Canadians, we'll get wealth ourselves. Wealth is a byproduct of getting justice. It is not a byproduct or the opposite of. So that is why we created the tool. We want to create a tool where leveraging AI and artificial intelligence technology provides economic justice so that you don't have to give us jobs, we could create them for ourselves. And a strong Black Canadian economy is a strong Canadian economy, point blank, period. So that's why we created our platform.
Thank you for watching. We hope you found this discussion on intellectual property insightful. If you're a Black entrepreneur looking to dive deeper into IP, be sure to check out our page on Black entrepreneurs and intellectual property. There, you'll find information on funding programs, success stories, and other resources to get you inspired and started on your journey with IP. You can also book a free one-on-one session with an intellectual property advisor in your region to get advice on how IP can help you grow your business. You will also find all the links in the description box below.